Good evening, everyone. Welcome to California Today. I'm David Zhang. Here is a look at some of today's top stories. Another bus carrying illegal immigrants has arrived in Los Angeles. This is now the fifth bus from Texas. In-N-Out is banning masks for employees. The company says employees who want to wear masks will need a doctor's note. The Hollywood strikes continue to disrupt the film industry. Prop rental shops and other businesses are now unnaturally quiet. Over the weekend, another bus carrying illegal immigrants has arrived in Los Angeles from Texas. The bus is part of the Texas governor's efforts to send illegal immigrants to sanctuary cities that will provide resources and shelter.
On July 22nd, Mayor Karen Bass's office confirmed that a fifth bus carrying illegal immigrants has arrived in downtown Los Angeles. According to ABC7, the bus came from Brownsville, Texas, and is part of Republican Governor Greg Abbott's efforts to send illegal immigrants to sanctuary states like New York, Washington, and California. In a statement, the mayor's office said, quote, "The city has continued to work with city departments, the county, and a coalition of nonprofit organizations, in addition to our faith partners, to execute a plan set in place earlier this year. As we have before, when we became aware of the bus on Saturday, we activated our plan." The bus carried 44 people from Mexico, Colombia, China, Haiti, Honduras, Peru, and Venezuela. There were 14 children among them, ranging in age between 2 and 14. They were sent to Cathedral High School in the Chinatown neighborhood after arriving in Los Angeles, where they received medical tests, food, and access to resources.
Earlier this year, Senator Dianne Feinstein announced that she would retire at the end of her term. As a result, candidates are working hard to rake in millions in donations and vying for the vacant seat. Let's take a look at just how much money the candidates have raised and used.
In February, Senator Dianne Feinstein announced her intention to retire at the conclusion of her term, which ends January 3rd, 2025. Of the 25 candidates vying for her seat, the current frontrunner is Representative Katie Porter, who has collected around $18.7 million. As of now, she still has $10.4 million left after spending nearly $8.3 million this year. Following close behind is Representative Adam Schiff, who has raised nearly $15 million. According to Federal Election Commission filings, despite spending nearly $6.3 million, Schiff has transferred funds from previous campaigns, so he still has nearly $30 million in the bank. Another Democratic representative running for the seat is Barbara Lee. She has collected over $2.3 million and has spent less than $1 million, leaving her with $1.4 million, according to her FEC filings. A recent survey of California voters shows a tight race developing between Porter and Schiff. Released earlier this month, the survey by the Public Policy Institute of California, a nonpartisan think tank, shows that Porter, with 19% of the vote, is polling ahead of all her competitors. But back in May, the poll found Republican candidate and attorney Erik had led with 18% of the vote, followed closely by Porter at 17%. Bill Thomas, NTD News, California.
The popular West Coast fast food chain In-N-Out Burger has announced that it will be prohibiting masks for its employees. A leaked memo from the food chain says that the employees who wish to continue wearing a mask must provide a doctor's note. But California will be among the only 2 states excluded from these new company policies.
In-N-Out recently announced its intentions to prohibit masking for its employees unless they receive a doctor's note. The reveal came via a leaked memo to associates that was posted to Twitter. The memo also states that any employee who requires a mask will be allowed to wear an N95 mask that will be provided by the company. Any employees failing to comply with the new standards could be terminated. According to a statement, the fast food chain's chief operating officer, Denny Warnick, says, quote, "Wearing a mask literally adds a barrier to communication, much of which is nonverbal, and promotes a more distant and disconnected environment." This new set of guidelines is set to go in effect on August 24th in Arizona, Colorado, Nevada, Texas, and Utah. But California and Oregon will be excluded from the mandate for the time being. The Epoch Times reached out to In-N-Out for further information, but the company declined to respond.
A prop rental shop in LA is unnaturally quiet. There is no one looking for set design items as the writers and actors strike continues. NTD's Andrew Thomas has more on how the strike is disrupting business.
Mark Meyer thinks his prop rental business may have a month or two left. He supplies items for movie, TV, and commercial productions. Soon he'll have to make the difficult decision to start auctioning off thousands of items.
Our income has been slashed drastically. It was like $140,000 a month. And now with all the bills and everything, I'm kind of hardly going to make $10,000, I think.
His business has supplied items for movies like Top Gun: Maverick and TV shows like Good Trouble. Hollywood writers have been on strike since May and actors since mid-July.
So we left the tags on because the decorator wanted them for that set. And hopefully when the strike is over, they'll come back and redo that set and that same script and pick these up again.
But the company is on the brink of going out of business. Meyer has already closed temporarily. He's laid off his entire staff, except for one employee.
I've got all of the employees after COVID came back, except for two, and they're like my family. You know, I hated to lay them off because they were like my family. They're family members to me, you know.
The inventory of desks, chairs, lamps, and other office-type decor is gathering dust. Marvin Figueroa is Meyer's last remaining employee. He fears Faux Library will close permanently after surviving the global pandemic.
I'm thinking this is probably worse than COVID, I would think, right? Because there was like an ending and there was something going on with COVID. This don't seem like it's going to end. They're not going to negotiate it, and I don't know. Hopefully it will stay in business.
As the strike continues, scores of businesses that support the movie and TV industries are fighting to stay afloat. Andrew Thomas, NTD News.
As a part of the governor's ambitious electric vehicle plan, California is spending $150 million to replace school buses with electric counterparts. Districts will be required to scrap an old school bus for every new one purchased.
California is spending $150 million this upcoming school year to help replace gas-fueled school buses with electric versions. This is part of Governor Gavin Newsom's ambitious plan to reach net zero carbon pollution by 2045. Newsom said in a July 7th statement, "We are getting more kids on clean school buses while paving the way for the rest of the country to follow our lead." The funding will come from the California Climate Commitment. School districts can apply for the program until September 29th and receive up to $495,000 for new electric bus purchases. Each electric school bus can cost between $285,000 to $395,000. Charging equipment can cost up to $100,000. That's all according to California's Hybrid and Zero-Emission Truck and Business Voucher Incentive Project. According to Newsom's office, last year, 81 school districts purchased over 300 zero-emission buses with help from the incentive project. So far, California has invested more than $1.2 billion to replace old bus fleets with electric ones. The state is also pledging to spend an additional $1.8 billion over the next 5 years.
More on EV, Pacific Gas and Electric has recently started bringing a new electric vehicle charging standard to the market. This concept, known as bidirectional charging, could turn EVs into portable chargers.
Pacific Gas and Electric, or PG&E, plans to make bidirectional charging a reality. With bidirectional charging, the battery power from the electric vehicle can be used to power homes or send unused power back to the electrical grid. PG&E has partnered with BMW to bring bidirectional charging to life. According to an interview with KCRA3, Adam Langton, an energy services manager for BMW, said Typical usage, a battery of that size could power your home for 3 or 4 days straight. But one issue this technology currently faces is the differing compatibility standards between electric vehicle manufacturers. Amy Costco, PG&E Principal Product Manager, told KCRA3 that we see EVs as part of the overall solution. It's about clean energy for California, and it's about reliability and resiliency for our customers. PG&E stated that it hopes to support 2 million vehicles with bidirectional charging by the end of 2030.
We'll now take a short break, everyone, but here's a look at what we have for you when we come right back. A young boy is suing his school district over masking and vaccine policies during the pandemic. We'll hear more about his story and why. In the Central Valley, the city of Fresno could one day house the world's largest Costco. It's planned to feature a car wash and a distribution center. And the legendary singer behind the song I Left My Heart in San Francisco has passed away. Fans are paying their respects by leaving flowers on his Hollywood Walk of Fame star. These stories and more coming up on California Today. Welcome back to California Today, everybody. I'm your host, David Zhang. A 7-year-old boy, represented by his legal guardian, is suing a school district for violating the boy's rights around masking and vaccines during the pandemic. The boy is now 8 and the case is still ongoing.
8-year-old HN appears to be a typical young boy who enjoys board games, Nerf guns, baseball, and toy vehicles.
The summer camp would be beach baseball, my after-school camp.
But the Scotts Valley resident is very mature for his age. It all started in September 2021 when he was 7. At times, he refused to wear a mask in school and did not consent to getting tested for COVID-19 weekly.
And for some reason, I had to take the COVID test twice, but I did not, because I did not want to. I have right to speak my mind. So, I did not do it, and then they put me in the office, and they kept me in there, and for a week, yeah.
His dad then hired a lawyer and filed a lawsuit on his behalf against the school district with the California Superior Court, Santa Cruz County. They are suing for negligence, false imprisonment, violating his civil rights, and other charges. HN stated that he does not like to wear a mask because he cannot breathe well in it, and he cannot see his teachers' and classmates' facial expressions when they wear masks.
I couldn't breathe. I had to chew holes in my mask. Before I figured out chewing holes, hey, can I go get some water? And then I went outside to pull down my mask and actually breathe again.
But he continued to be disciplined for not complying with school regulations. The complaint mentions 9 separate incidents in which HN refused to wear a mask and subsequently was isolated in a classroom by himself with a substitute teacher, taken to the principal's office, or taken to a classroom which was used for storage at the time.
I was just feeling disappointed that, they had to keep sending me back to the office, putting me in storage rooms. I wasn't with my classmates.
But the school district's defense attorney, Mark Davis, wrote in a letter to the Epic Times saying that HN's refusal to be vaccinated, tested, and to wear a mask created a difficult situation. Davis added, quote, "The safety guidelines could have been ignored, but that likely would have increased the overall risk to students and staff and would not have been reasonable under the circumstances. But now the case continues to make its way through the court system. It may head to a trial unless a settlement takes place."
A young college student is trying to change the world. At age 20, David Chang, a political science major at UC Berkeley, is the youngest person to become chairman of the Alameda County Republican Party. He runs the local Republican Party and recruits candidates. He is also chair of the California College Republicans. Chan told NTD's David Lam about his aspirations and why he wants to garner the next generation of conservatives.
So David Chan, you're the Alameda County Republican Chair. Thank you for doing the interview with me today.
Of course, and thank you so much for having me, David.
Yeah, no problem. So I wanted to talk to you about how you became the youngest county chair to be in this position, and how did you get to this point?
Well, I think first and foremost, all the credit is to God. I mean, being able to have this position, be able to step up, it's nothing more short of a miracle, really. And it's not something that I think any of us could have been able to accomplish, like me and my team, on our own. We're here to revitalize the party, and I think a lot of our Republicans saw that. They saw, what I'm trying to bring to the table and the new ideas and this ability to kind of be able to revitalize that party. I think is definitely something that we need here in California, especially within the Republican Party.
Now, so have you faced any opposition during your time while trying to get people to come together?
Of course, absolutely. There's going to be opposition at every turn that we face. There's going to be opposition internally and especially externally. And I think that, especially for someone that has the current beliefs that I do, it really pertains mostly to protecting our constitutional rights and the freedoms that we should be guaranteed as American citizens. That's becoming more and more unpopular, even though 20 years ago, that used to be the most non-controversial stance that you can have. I mean, 20 years ago, the Democrat Party and the Republican Party were virtually the same.
Now, being 20 years old, what are people saying to attest to your experience, especially you're still in college?
Yes. It's definitely, you get a mix. I have a lot of people that are coming out and supporting me because I'm so young and they want to, and they, believe in the same things that I do. It is difficult. I'll show up to an event and people won't know who I am or what I'm doing, and I'll try to introduce myself and shake their hand, and sometimes they just won't even give me the light of day until they find out later what I'm involved in and the different positions. But that's okay, and it's just all a part of being able to slowly grow and be able to just continue to immerse myself in what we're doing here. And it's definitely a challenge. It's definitely an uphill battle. But by the grace of God and from all of His blessings, we're doing well, and we're surviving, and we're powering through. And we're really starting to build up this new generation of conservative leadership that I think we need here in California and for the rest of our country. And that's what I'm excited for. That's what I'm looking forward to.
All right. David Chan, Alameda County Chair of the GOP. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you for having me.
A new giant Costco warehouse is in the talks for the state's Central Valley area. If approved, it will take the title as the largest Costco in the world.
A new Costco warehouse is being planned in Fresno, California. It's set to be around 241,000 square feet, or over 4 football fields of space, and would be the world's largest. It's projected to feature a car wash, 32 gas pumps, and 889 parking spaces. It's also expected to serve 10,000 customers on weekdays and 14,000 on weekends. About 47,000 square feet of space will be home to an e-commerce fulfillment center. This is unusual for Costco, as warehouses are generally located in different areas than fulfillment centers. But the company says this is all part of an attempt to compete with other online vendors. However, the city of Fresno noted that this will lead to, quote, significant and unavoidable noise pollution. If approved, the new store will take the title of largest Costco warehouse. Currently, the largest location is a warehouse in Salt Lake City, Utah, spanning 235,000 square feet. On average, most Costco locations are around 146,000 square feet, or almost half the size of Fresno's new Costco. Bill Thomas, NTD News, Fresno.
Fans are continuing to pay tribute to one legendary singer who passed away last Friday, and they're leaving flowers on his star in Hollywood. NTD's Christina Corona shares more.
On Friday, legendary singer Tony Bennett died in his hometown of New York at the age of 96. With a career that spanned numerous decades, Tony Bennett left an incredible mark on the music industry, having released more than 70 albums over the years. Bennett's death was confirmed by his publicist, Sylvia Weiner, in a statement to the Associated Press. She said, quote, "No specific cause of death was announced, but Bennett had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2016. Fans are paying respects to the icon by leaving flowers at his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame." Tony Bennett's voice resonated with audiences worldwide, enchanting them with his timeless classics such as "I Left My Heart in San Francisco." Not only did Tony Bennett captivate the masses with his music, but he also gained admiration and respect from legendary singer Frank Sinatra, who said, quote, "For my money, Tony Bennett is the best singer in the business." Throughout his career, Bennett performed numerous duets with a star-studded lineup such as Judy Garland, Aretha Franklin, Michael Bublé, Lady Gaga, and Amy Winehouse, just to name a few. Tony Bennett's career was recognized and honored with a collection of 20 Grammy Awards. While Tony Bennett may have left this world, his music will continue to resonate in the hearts of its fans and admirers, assuring that his legacy lives on for generations to come. Christina Corona, NTD News, Los Angeles.
Now let's hear from NTD's Tyler Castile for your sports segment.
Thank you. I'm Tyler Castillo, taking you through California Today's Sports Roundup.
First up, we have some scary news, as reports have come out that Bronny James, who is the son of LeBron James, has suffered a cardiac arrest while working out at the University of Southern California on Monday. Bronny James is young, at only 18 years old, with no public knowledge of any pre-existing health issues. According to the James family, Bronny is out of the ICU and in stable condition right now. His family has asked the public to respect their privacy during this time. James was a 4-star recruit after graduating from Sierra Canyon High School. We do wish him the best of luck in his recovery and that his father and family are doing well. Next up, in hockey news, one of my favorite sports, I'm sure you can tell. The San Jose Sharks defenseman Erik Karlsson has won another award. He was awarded the Victoria Prize as Sweden's Top Athlete of the Year in honor of Princess Victoria's birthday. This comes on top of the James Norris Trophy he has already won this year while playing for the Sharks. Erik Karlsson was second among Swedish NHL players in points, only 1 point behind Elias Pettersson of the Vancouver Canucks. Congratulations to Erik Karlsson.
I'm Tyler Castillo, and that was the Sports Roundup for today. Back to you.
Thanks, Tyler. All right, everybody, that's all we've got for you tonight. We would like you to join us again on California Today every weekday at 8 p.m. Make sure to check out our broadcasts at ntd.com/California-today. You'll also find all of our top latest clips there, ready to share with friends and family. Send us a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Ganjin World, or through our email california.today@ntd.com. If you'd like to share news tips or let us know how we're doing, we'd love to hear from you. I'm David Zhang. Have a wonderful evening.